Hey, Rick.
Hey, Megan.
Happy Tuesday.
Tuesday already, but it's already into May. For May
I know, isn't it
2021.
bananas. I know, 5 months. We're almost halfway there. The
Yeah.
weather's warming up and summer's coming and things are opening up, and hopefully we will have a good summer. I was so excited to see Disneyland open up last
Oh,
week.
that's so awesome.
I know. It's like when Disneyland closed down in 2020, I was like,
Mhm.
oh
Not good.
my gosh, like
Mhm.
you knew it was not good. So I hope that they're
Right.
successful and that they're organized and people, I think people's whole attitudes are going to improve so much once they are able to get out and play around, you know.
Yeah, I'm starting to see signs out already, and I think it's gonna be a good summer. For
I
everybody to
agree,
be able to get out and do things. Go out and
including
spend some
you,
time.
Rick.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to some of
I
that.
know you are. Okay, so I have a topic today and I did not
Uh-huh.
tell you about it because I'd love to surprise you. The element of surprise.
Hmm.
And it's going to be a sort of a timely topic here. The topic is, so you want to be a realtor. So you want to be a realtor. Like, what's the pros and cons? Why would you want to be
Hmm.
a realtor? How long does it take? And that
Hmm.
sort of thing. Are you
Very
ready?
cool. I'm ready.
I have some notes here. I did a little bit of research just to make
Okay.
sure I wasn't talking about things that so when the market is good, there's always people kind of hanging out and saying, man, they're really killing it. Maybe I
Uh-huh.
should consider being a realtor. I love talking to people. This would be great.
Hmm.
And, I hope that everything's great for everybody, but you have to understand a few things. Now, number one, you might see advertisements maybe to become a realtor, and
Hmm.
you just have to remember that there's always something in it for everyone.
Hmm.
So whether it's a real estate school or a real estate company, realtors get paid to recruit other realtors and
Hmm.
that sort of thing. So you just have to
Hmm.
remember the rule of thumb is there's always something in it for someone when
Hmm.
they recruit you. Even
True.
if you're a new realtor and they take a pretty large cut of your commission at the company that you're with, that's
Hmm.
what's in it for them, right? So they'll
Hmm.
say, hey, come take a free real estate class, and then they hope that you sign up with them. Okay.
Yep.
So I kind of want to just go over the pros and cons, if that's okay.
Hmm. Yeah. Sounds good.
Um, okay. So the pros of being a realtor is that you're your own boss, right?
Hmm.
You
True.
can make you can break you.
Yeah. That's true.
That's also a
Yeah.
con
Yeah.
because you have no supervision, really. Nobody is going to know if you don't get up until 9 a.m., right?
That's right. No one's checking on you.
You can always say I was in a meeting and you were doing something else
Yeah.
or
Watching Price is Right or something.
right. Judge Judy.
Yeah. Right.
So not being your own boss, setting your own schedule, and deciding kind of like what your future is going to hold. Those are
Hmm.
all pros, right? Like it's nice to
Yeah.
be in
Sure.
control.
Have a control. Right. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So I mean, people um, don't know some of the cons, right? So I'm going to go
Hmm.
over them right now. Now,
Okay.
disclaimer: I love my job. I love it. I love it. I love it. I've been doing it for
Yes, you
22
do.
years.
Yeah.
It has been a very hard road. It's been a very hard
Hmm.
road, but it is the
Hmm.
road that I have chosen
Hmm.
because I don't need supervision. I don't need
That's right.
supervision.
Don't tell
I
you what
don't
to
need it.
do.
No. In fact, please stay away from me. I don't
Yeah,
need supervision.
exactly.
I
Right.
get up at 4 in the morning every morning and
Yeah.
I'm very organized and I have a great team. And so after 22 years, I would say it was probably year 17 that I thought, man, now I'm feeling pretty safe. It took 17 years, you know.
Right.
I
Mhm.
remember when the market crashed, and it was like 2007, 8 here, you know,
Yeah.
in my neck of the
Yeah.
woods.
Yeah.
And business completely shut down. I mean, you couldn't do squat for a while because the house prices were just falling, and you know, it wasn't, you know, things weren't syncing up. You know, you couldn't put it all together. And
Right.
I was so disappointed because I had been in business then for quite a while, and I
Hmm.
had built a really nice business.
Hmm.
And I was like, my business is not recession proof. Like, oh my gosh, like I had
Yeah.
to
Right.
lay off my people, and I had to work by myself for like a year until I started working for banks.
Hmm.
And that was the hardest I've ever worked in my life. That was
Hmm.
treacherous.
I remember those days.
So yeah, so it took about 17 years to really say, you know what, this is pretty sweet. And you're not going to find a lot of realtors that have even been in the business over 5 years. I
No,
mean,
no, that's
it's
true.
kind of, yeah, it's kind of a hard turnaround. So to find somebody that's been doing it over 20 years, that's pretty cool, right?
It
Okay.
is.
So that all being said, so the
Hmm.
cons are this. You have to be self-disciplined and self-motivated.
Big time.
Absolutely 100%.
Hmm.
There's no, it's like having a child. There's no booklet that comes with it. Like
Right.
you're expected to manage yourself, get educated, hold yourself accountable, and there is a
Yeah.
lot to go into it, especially nowadays. Like not only
Yeah.
do you have to learn real estate and contracts and how to talk to people, but you have to learn about technology. You have to be
Hmm.
really technically savvy. So when people start up in the real estate business, you know, it's gonna, I mean, you really should not expect any business for at least 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years. I mean,
To build
it
that up. Yeah.
yeah, it depends what your exposure is to people that want to buy or sell. There's very rarely, you know, someone who gets into the business and gets all kinds of referrals, because people aren't
Right.
necessarily going to refer you because you just started. Hello, you know,
Uh-huh.
they're,
Yeah.
they're a
Right.
little concerned, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so one of the cons is that it does take a while to start up.
It
Now,
does.
there's some real estate companies that you can get paid per, you know, you can be a salaried employee, but like, then why be a realtor? You know, forget it.
Yeah. It doesn't pay very much.
Right. And it does cost money. So you're spending
Hmm.
money and you're
Hmm.
not making any money. So you're spending
Hmm.
money on dues
Board
and
dues. Yeah.
marketing, and you
Hmm.
have to have
All your
extra
supplies, all your tools.
insurance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gas. The whole
It's not
thing. You
cheap.
might
It's
not
not
be
cheap.
making, yeah, you might not be making any money for 2 years, but you're sure going to be spending it. And you know, that could cost you bare minimum, like to sort of do like some advertising. I mean, at least you're going to spend at least $1,000 a month, right?
Oh yeah. Minimum.
Minimum. Um, then something to consider is that there's no retirement, there's no
No
sick
401k.
days,
Yeah.
there's no HR. So
You are the HR.
you are the HR. So
Yeah.
like if I
Right.
go out and show property
Hmm.
and somebody does or says something to me that's inappropriate, I'm on my own, right? I mean,
Hmm.
who am I going
Hmm.
to complain to? I don't even, you know how that would
Yeah.
work. So,
Right.
so you have to be kind of tough because you have to manage all that yourself. I mean, somebody the other day like completely discriminated against me, and I didn't have anything to say. I mean, who am I going to say something to? Nobody
Wow.
cares. Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody's going to
It's
listen.
like, what the heck?
I know, exactly. I was just like, well, here, move on to
Yeah.
the next one, right?
Yeah.
Um, then something to consider, like if you get hurt at work, there's no uh,
Workers' comp.
workers' comp, there's no plan. Like if I got in a car accident and I couldn't work, I would be just pretty much up the creek. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nobody that's
Yeah,
gonna
you
pay for
would.
me
No
while
backup.
I'm on the job,
Right.
And just so everybody knows is that there's an old saying, but it's very, 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 very true. And that is that 95% of the business is done by 5% of the realtors.
That's very true.
There's not a whole bunch of there's a million realtors doing 1 or 2 deals a year.
Right. Oh yeah.
But
I think the
there's,
average, by the way, is about 3 deals a year on average. Does
yeah,
that sound about
you're
right?
good at knowing stuff like that. I did
Yeah.
look up on a website that looked pretty legit, and it said, if you're a realtor and you work 40 to 50 hours a week for a
Mhm.
realtor, and it didn't say what area, what demographic or
Sure. Place in the
not
country.
demographic, but what,
Geographic location.
geographic, thank you.
Yeah.
Location. Because obviously if you work in Santa Barbara versus Kentucky, you might have a
Right.
little bit of a different commission
Oh, for
coming in.
sure.
Right.
Hmm.
But
Yep.
it says on average, realtors work from 40 to 50 hours a week and make about 68,000 a year.
Minus expenses.
Right.
That's gross. That's not net.
Right. So yeah, you can't even
Yeah.
buy a house with that. So that's what I'm telling people is like, if you want to be a realtor, like knock yourself out, that's great. But
Mhm.
just realize, like, don't be silly. Don't realize this is not a quick get rich quick situation,
Right.
And when I started, like as a woman,
Mhm.
things are very, very different in my industry, right?
Right.
Because I'm a significant breadwinner in my household, and
Mhm.
I'm the woman, I'm a mother,
Mhm.
I run the
Mhm.
household. And
Mhm.
so that creates a whole different level of stress. I say all the time, I would like
Right.
a wife, please. I would like a wife to take care of me. But like when I
Yeah.
got started in real estate, I didn't have any children yet.
Right.
And so I was able to grow and hire an assistant to do all the office stuff. So then
Uh-huh.
when my kids were born, I could pay attention to them because
Mhm.
like the attention that they need,
Mhm. Mhm.
and because I cannot imagine being fresh into this and having children and trying to do all of that at once,
Manage
because it
everything.
does
Yeah.
require, I mean, I don't know how many hours a day that people normally spend on it, but I coach some agents, we're
Mhm.
opening an office, and
Yeah.
I have some agents that I coach, and it's like I'm telling them, like, you've got to spend like 3 hours a day just looking for business. Like, you have to
Mhm. Mhm.
talk to people, you have to get out, you have to meet people.
Mhm. Mhm.
You don't get, you don't get to meet people and make things happen behind a computer screen. Like, you have to get out.
Right.
You
Right.
can't just be on social media. You have to get out,
True.
volunteer, get to know people, be
Yeah.
helpful, and
Right.
that sort of thing. So
Right.
so that's pretty much like the cons in a very much a nutshell.
Well, it's all good stuff. I work with a lot of realtors, that, the thing with real estate is people think, oh, it'd be fun, right? It's like Mad Money almost. It's like, well, you go out and sell a couple of houses and make a lot of money. It'd be kind of fun.
Right.
Here's the reality. You can't think of it like that. You have to think of it as a business because you're running a business. And your example, you run a business. You run a very good business, right?
Yeah.
But I work with a lot of realtors who don't have that business mindset, and they don't have the skill set, if you will, to be able to build a business.
Oh
And
my
so they
God.
get discouraged very quickly, right?
Right.
And
Right.
it takes time. I mean, like I said, the average realtor does 2 to 3 transactions a year.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You're not going to make a living on 2 or 3 transactions a
No.
year, right? And
No.
it's still a lot of work. And
Oh yeah.
I deal with agents that don't have that skill set yet. And the challenge with that, oftentimes, as you all know, because we both experience it, is that they lack that skill set and they don't know how to get through the transaction without creating a lot of drama.
Right. Oh my
And
God.
so we deal with that, right? Oh my
Right.
gosh. Okay, right. I'm gonna include that in in my chapter in my book one day, how to not create drama,
Right.
right? And so
Right.
much of that drama is driven by the realtor because they don't have the experience yet,
They don't have the
right?
experience, and they're probably, desperate to make some money. I
Maybe
mean,
so.
most of
Yeah.
them, are,
Hmm.
but they don't understand, how to, like you and I had a little talk this week about someone that
Hmm.
was like trying to start trouble.
Hmm.
And it's like, why start trouble? Just keep things cool and peaceful and keep everything moving along.
Yeah.
Don't bother your
Right.
client with this baloney and call
Hmm.
it a
Hmm.
day.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the difference. But you have to treat this as a business, right? It's not
Hmm.
an opportunity. It's not quick money. It's not mad money. It's a business,
Hmm.
right? And it takes time to build that business. It takes
Right.
time. You have to build a database. You have to do all the right things. And
Yeah.
you have to learn the business, right? Learn
There's
how things work.
no get rich quick. I meet so many
Yeah.
people that think they can. It's like, not to mention the taxes, I mean, you have to pay a
Oh,
lot in taxes because you're
oh yeah.
1099.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I think at my level, like how much business that I do with what I've got going on, it's like completely wonderful and perfect and balanced and good. But it took
Hmm.
a long time to get that way.
Yeah, it wasn't overnight.
I
Takes
know.
years.
Right, right. So that was my surprise topic of the day, because I have
Good
gotten
stuff.
some calls from people who are considering a career change and
Mm.
are wondering about getting into real estate. So,
Good stuff. I get the same thing, by the way, in the lending side. Hey, well, I want to be a loan officer. Yeah, it's like, okay. And then same kind of discussion, right? It's like they think
right.
it's kind of cool. They don't, you have to build a business. You have to know what you're doing. It's not
Yeah,
like get a license, show up and close deals,
right. You're
right?
not going to get referrals if you don't make a really great experience for somebody.
Yeah, and you have to just know
Yeah,
what to do. That's first and
yeah.
foremost. Good stuff, though.
Thank you. All right, then that's it for today. It's short and sweet.
Cool.
And let us know if you have any questions.
See you, Megan.